thanks for joining my tutorial about Worbla. My name is Ice Valkyrie. I'll be going through this awesome tutorial, or a small tutorial guide with you guys. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the basics of Worbla and what it is, what it can do for you, what awesome projects you can make with it, the inspiration behind it, also awesome people that you guys also want to check out who have the best tutorial videos and tutorials out there. Just note that, like, for me, I'm doing this from what I know and what I've learned from other people, so I'm just showing you tips and tricks about what I know and what I've learned that I'm sharing with you, because let's face it, social media, it gets places but it doesn't get everywhere. So I'm going to try to link as many people as I possibly can from whom I followed. Especially one of the people I look up to the most is Camoy. So if you guys follow her page, she is the mother of Worbla. Like, honestly, go check her out. Most likely going to have her address down there somewhere. So yeah, you might want to check out her pages and her tutorials. Unfortunately, they're in German, but that's her native language, but she does subtitles for them, so it's very cool to listen to and to learn to watch, and follow her Facebook page as well, because like her Facebook page, she updates stuff regularly and it's awesome. So okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get right into it. Okay, so this is a piece of Worbla, and it's a scrap piece that I've grabbed from my bag. Generally it's rough on the outside and it's nice and gluey type soft shiny part on the inside. So to explain what Worbla is it's a thermoplastic. If anybody's familiar actually with Wonderflex, it's almost the same thing, except it's 10 times better. Well, in my opinion, it's 10 times better. But it basically is easier to be heated, and it's more flexible, and you can do a lot more with it than you would with Wonderflex, in my opinion. But yeah, so Worbla is really cool because it can be used for any sort of project that you guys are working on. More specifically, if you're into armor making, it's a really good idea to use this, because you can make really cool stuff. Like, I'm just going to show you right now, but this is the back of my armor that I'm working on right now. It's my Skyrim armor. Just ignore the tape that's on it. But you can see all the different pieces and everything that have been put on already. Okay. So, for Worbla, it's kind of pricey, though, I have to warn you. It's very much... yeah, it's not a very cheap like product itself or material. I generally go for the jumbo sheets, which can go up to like about 80 bucks or something a piece, and the large ones as well is like $60 or something like that. You can buy them either from Worbla, which is like the German site, or you can buy them here in Cosplay Craft Supplies. Sells them. So does Yaya Han. She sells them as well. I don't know if some other cosplayers also sell them on their websites, but I would try to check around and try to find the best deal as possible, because this stuff isn't cheap. Like I said, it's expensive, and I mean, I've bought 6 rolls already, and I've gone through maybe 4 of them, and I'm down to 2 now. So that's just to give you an example of as to how much Worbla I've used so far for my actual Skyrim armor that I'm working on. So yeah. Okay, so Worbla. What you generally do is, if you have a heat gun, I would really highly suggest you get a heat gun, because it's very important to have one when you're working with Worbla. Heat guns go for about 20 bucks at your local hardware store. Here in Canada, we got Canadian Tire, and we got like Renault Depot and stuff like that. So these are really awesome to buy, especially if you are into a lot of crafting. But yeah, if you're gonna work with the Worbla, you're gonna need the heat gun because that's the only way it's gonna work. And especially if you're gonna be using it to layer things and to craft and put different pieces on top of each other. Especially since there is the glossy side here, which acts as like a solvent or a glue. So as soon as you place it on something else, it automatically sticks to it, and when it cools off from the heat, it stays there. It does not move. It will get stuck. And if you look at this piece that I had folded on top of itself, it's solid. You can't like break it apart. And if you saw, again, the back of my armor piece here, I'm showing you examples. This is stuck on. It's like really not coming off, if you can see that. And these pieces here too, I mean everything here, if you see all these edgings and stuff like that, this is all Worbla that's been put on to create any kind of effect, which is really cool. So that's that. So I'm just going to generally show you the different instruments that I posted up earlier. You're going to need a pencil for obviously making your patterns. If you already have patterns made and you have to draw out lines and stuff like that, it's also good. X-Acto knife is your friend too because it cuts out your shapes better if you can't get around it with the scissors. So I have a pair of scissors here, small scissors. Just making sure that they're sharper scissors and not dull scissors because they will not cut well through it. And a general tip with Worblas, this is an already tough material. When it comes in the actual sheet format, it's really tough to cut through with just scissors in general. So what I suggest is when you have your patterns, lay them out, draw them out onto the actual Worbla themselves before cutting it out. And if there's some parts that you think it's very difficult to get by with the scissors, I would suggest actually heating that part first and then cutting it out the rest of the way, because if not, you're going to end up breaking your scissors, which I've already done to a pair that I have here. Which I can't show you because it's outside. Anyways. So yeah, so this is a piece, and I'm going to show you exactly what it does when you heat it up, so just don't mind the noise. Okay, I'll also note that I'm using a paper here. It's a baking sheet. I would suggest using it like when you're using the heat gun, because if not, you're going to be burning holes through everything and it's going to suck. So here's the Worbla piece, and notice how it's flexible now. Yay! It's ready to work with. But you have to work quickly with it, and be very careful because it is hot. So if you are going to make a shape or something like that, you like folding, for instance, I'm just going to fold the edges in here and just kind of like make some kind of like nose piece or something. And you can hold it in place. I was just doing that because it does dry quickly, and if you need to like shake it around or something like that or just blow on it so that it stays. So as you can see, like that's what I did. I just pressed it together and it's got this weird dinky little shape. But once it does cool off, it does stay like that. So you have that effect, and it's solid. Like, it looks like a dart. I'm gonna shoot it. But yeah, it's stuck together and you can't pull it apart, like either, because the two glue sides, they stick to each other, and that's it. But if you do want to try to undo this, you're going to take your heat gun again, and you're going to put heat on it. I'm going to try to pull it apart and hope that, yeah, there we go, it worked. It's unraveled, sort of. Anyways, yeah, so you can undo some things, but if it's really pressed down against itself, chances are it won't be able to unstick. There's sometimes where it sticks too much, and then if you try to tear it apart, it'll rip what you're using. So I wouldn't suggest pulling fast or anything like that. Try to go as slow as possible if you're trying to undo something. But yeah, generally you can undo, because it softens out afterwards if you heat it up again, so it should be able to go back to its original state. There's other tutorials online that you guys can check out that actually like test what the durability of Worbla is. So if you guys want to check that out, look on YouTube. I'm pretty sure you'll find it no problem. It's just Worbla tests or something. And yeah, so this piece kind of looks like a fox too. I don't know. But so that's it for the Worbla. It's very interesting to use, and just to give you an example what you can do with it, you can make patterns and stuff like that, and designs on top of different things. So I'm just gonna join. I'm just gonna cut a piece here. I'll show you like small pieces you can cut up easily. I'm just gonna do a small design. Nothing particular. Try not to cut my fingers. So I'm going to make this like weird C looking type shaped thing, and I'm going to stick that onto our little fox type deal. When you're heating it up though, if you have tiny little pieces and stuff, suggest that you put the shiny side on top and the rough side on bottom, so when you're heating it, it's laid like that on the actual sheet itself, so that you don't touch it at all. Like right now I'm not touching the actual piece. You know we've heated the Worbla enough though. Like if you start seeing a little bit of bubble forming, you don't want to get those bubbles, to be honest. You want to heat it up just enough so that you don't see the bubbles, because the bubbles actually ruin it. It doesn't look nice and it's not smooth, and yeah, it just doesn't look good. So I'm just going to take this little small piece and I'm going to stick it on top of this other piece that I have just cut from. And I'm pressing it on there. Just going to wait until it cools off a bit. It's good already. And look, it's stuck to it. See? And it's like a little thing here. So that's how details work. I mean, you don't have to like... Okay, like you'll maybe spend hours cutting out like really detailed effects and stuff like that that like get put on there. Such as, again, with the back of my armor piecing. If you can notice the different details that we put along here, there's small little shapes that you need to do grooves and everything like that, but you can actually do this with Worbla, and you can stick it on directly. It does not require any extra glue or anything like that, unless you've burnt it to a crisp and there's no more left, but I trust in your abilities. So yeah, for the Worbla, it's really easy to use, it's great. Just be careful not to burn yourself, like I said, with the heat gun, or don't burn yourself on the Worbla either when you're working with it. Alright guys, that's the end of my first tutorial video. Okay. Seriously though, thank you for watching and putting up with my craziness, which showing you the stuff that's going on here. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask them in the video's comment section. And if you guys don't want to do that, you can also leave comments and questions on either my Tumblr or my Facebook page or my Instagram, because I like using Instagram, obviously, because that's where everything goes. Just a reminder, guys, Worbla is an awesome material to work with. It is the best thing that's ever happened to me. I love it so much. But it's really cool because, I mean, it's got all this nice, nifty love to it that you don't see in other materials. Yeah, so if you guys want to give it a shout out or something like that, or I don't know, just share me if you can too. Get it out to your friends, because you know social media stuff doesn't hit everybody. And if you haven't seen the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful page of Cosplay, suggest you check her out. She's totally cool. If you have Facebook, go check her page out. Cosplay Cosplay. She's freaking amazing. She is, like I said, the mother of Worbla. She creates all these masterful pieces of armor, and if you haven't seen her yet, shame on you. Honestly, shame on you. There's also awesome other cosplayers that look up to her as well, who have obviously taken her expertise into their own style of costuming, like Lightning Cosplay, as well as a good friend of hers. Really cool too. Yeah, so everybody's learning about Worbla these days. Who knew? I'll see you guys next time.